A-Man, say man, this is the A-Man Show back at it again for more content. The Orlando Magic have been under the radar throughout the offseason, and not many people are taking the time to talk about this team. The Magic last season broke out as one of the best young teams in the NBA. Sure, they may not be as great as the OKC Thunder, but they are not far from him at all. And this offseason, they added much needed pieces for them to be a sneaky contender in the Eastern Conference, with Paolo, Banchero, and Franz Wagner leading the way and emerging as one of the best forward duos in the league. The Magic are primed to take another step in the 2025 season, and in this video, I'm going to show you why you should pay more attention to the Orlando Magic. But first, make sure y'all subscribe. I post NBA content, turn on post notifications so that way you don't miss anything new from me. Anyways, stay tuned and let's get it. The Orlando Magic have one of the best young cores in the NBA, which is crazy to think about because for a time, they weren't always like this. Throughout the 2010s, the Orlando Magic has been one of the most dysfunctional franchises in the NBA. Ever since Dwight Howard left to LA in 2012, the Magic have been in shambles ever since. In the first year of the Howard-less Magic, they had a 20-62 record and was rewarded with the second overall pick in the 2013 draft, in which they will select Victor Oladipo. Oladipo being one of the bright spots in this anus 2013 draft class. He was never able to grow into a star player until he went to Indiana. The Magic was known to be so incompetent in terms of developing players. They are also very incompetent when it comes to managing players. For instance, the Magic traded for Tobias Harris from Milwaukee, and he instantly was making an impact for this team. And even after his breakout season in 2015, he will sign a multi-year deal with this team. And then for some reason, the Magic will trade him to the Detroit Pistons for Brandon fucking Jennings and Ersan Ilyasova, both of which will only play one season with the Magic. And then what they did to Victor Oladipo, they will trade him along with Ilyasova and current All-Star Domantas Sabonis, who was the 11th overall pick of the 2016 draft that year, in exchange for, you guessed it, Serge Ibaka. Yeah. The Magic made terrible moves in the early 2010s and even in the late 2010s, of which they made the playoffs from 2019 to 2020, all because of Nikola Vucevic, of which they traded for him in 2012, was playing at an all-star level and even made 2 all-star appearances in his time there. But the team as a whole was just not talented nor good enough to compete in the Eastern Conference. So in the middle of the 21 season, they decided to clean house, such as trading away Aaron Gordon to the Nuggets for RJ Hampton, who was the 21st overall pick in the 2020 draft. They also got Gary Harris in a first-round pick in next year's draft. The Magic also traded Vucevic to the Bulls in exchange for Wendell Carter Jr., who is a versatile offensive and defensive center who can also spread the floor, along with Otto Porter and a first-round pick in the 21 draft, who will later select, Franz Wagner with the 8th overall pick. A textbook move by the Magic. Getting 2 franchise players on the team was essential for their rebuild. They also drafted Jalen Suggs with the 5th overall pick in the 21 draft. So essentially, they acquired 3 of their franchise players in one offseason. Another note I want to make is the front office change from Rob Hennigan, who was responsible for making these anus front office moves in the early 2010s, and replaced them with Jeff Weltman. Now, he didn't make an impact right away, but he's the same guy who selected Jonathan Isaac with the 7th overall pick, who is a defensive juggernaut. He also was the one who drafted Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony, and trading for Wendell Carter Jr., and most importantly drafted Paolo Banchero with the 1st overall pick. So based on that, he did a pretty good job. Speaking of Paolo Banchero had one of the most underrated rookie seasons of all time, averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 43, 28, 74 splits, and was rewarded with the Rookie of the Year. He also improved the Magic record to 12 more games in the 23 season. And then the following year, Paolo Banchero will become an all-star in just his second year in the league, improving his averages much more, emerging as one of the best ISO scorers in the league. He can also defend as well as can distribute as well. Not just him, but the entire team has improved last season. Franz Wagner has emerged as one of the better forwards in the game. This is a man who can handle like a point guard as well as move like one, as well as distribute the ball really well despite his low assist averages, great finisher, and can defend as well. Jalen Suggs, despite struggling for the last 2 seasons, has emerged as one of the best 3-and-D players in the league and also was named second team all defense last season. You got Gary Harris, who's a sharpshooter alongside Wendell Carter Jr. And then on the bench, you got Cole Anthony, who is instant offense for you. Jonathan Isaac, who's a great rebounding forward for this team, and most especially, he's one of the most underrated versatile defenders in the league. Mo Wagner, who's a great screener and can defend. Overall, a guy that can bring energy off of the bench. And also the young guy, and Anthony Black, who has potential to be a do-it-all guy. And I think he can be an integral part off of the bench this coming season. Looking at that season, the Magic were a top 5 defense in the NBA. They held teams to 108 points per game, which ranked them 4th. They also had the second best defensive rating in the league, and they also held teams to 36% shooting from 3, which ranks them 10th in the NBA. Because of their elite defense and also Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner, they were the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference and took the Cavs to 7 games impressively. Paolo Banchero played like a superstar in the first round against the Cavs, of which he averaged 27 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 46% from the field, 40% from 3 on 6 attempts, and 76% from the free throw line. And yet people are not discussing Banchero in the same limelight in the media compared to the likes of a Wemby, Anthony Edwards, Chet Holmgren, hell, even Bronny. As far as his status goes in the NBA, Banchero is severely underrated and should be more talked about in the media. The man not only made an all-star appearance in just his second year, but he also elevated his game to superstar heights in the playoffs. Now, of course, there are things that he needs to improve on, such as him having a go-to move on offense, and his three-point shot is, which I'm not too worried about. The guy shot 40% from 3 in the playoffs, so this is something that y'all shouldn't be too worried about. I'm more concerned about his mid-range game though. And as for Franz Wagner, although he is an all-star caliber point forward for this team, he has an inconsistent three-point shot. Shot 28% from 3, which was a big dip compared to the season before last year. Wagner has to shoot better this coming season. And one of the reasons that contributed to his three-point shot downfall is the offense. The Magic has a shitty offense. They have one of the slowest paces in the NBA, and that contributed to the Magic's stale and stagnant offense. Even though Franz Wagner is the best playmaker on this team, but his playmaking is not enough for the Magic to move the ball consistently, thus making them have an efficient offense. They have to literally rely on Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner to generate their entire offense. It's not going to work, especially against teams like the Celtics, Heat, Sixers, hell, even the Bucks. Despite signing Kentavious Caldwell-Pope on the roster, which was a great move by the way, one of the best 3-and-D players in the league, and also was snubbed from the all-defense roster, they haven't made a move for an actual playmaker in the offseason, which is key for them to take another step, which is contend for a title. If you do that, then not only their offense will be more efficient, but they will be a much better shooting team. Hopefully Franz Wagner can grow even more in the playmaking department, as well as Anthony Black, because the biggest core weakness of this team is playmaking. They were 28th in the league in assists per game. So they need to focus on that this coming season, because I think this issue is what's holding them back from actually contending. They already have the star power in Paolo Banchero, who will take another step and compete with the likes of the Wembys and the Anthony Edwards of the world this coming season. And then Franz Wagner will make an all-star game. Jalen Suggs will grow into more of a two-way French star. Wendell Carter and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope continue to excel in their roles, along with a deep bench. You also have a great coach in Jamal Mosley. You're looking at a team that can win 50 plus games and can compete with one of the top 5 to 3 seeds in the Eastern Conference. Their defense is going to be suffocating and compete with the likes of the Celtics and the Timberwolves as far as the best defense in the NBA, and with an improved offense. Now, once this Magic team fixes this playmaking issue, then I can really see the Magic compete for a championship for many years to come. The sky's is the limit for this franchise. They have come a long way from being a dysfunctional, incompetent franchise with no future to now a team that has one of the bright futures in the NBA and literally a step away from contending. The Orlando Magic is the team that you should pay more attention, most especially Paolo, Banchero, and Franz Wagner, and expect them to make noise in 2025. And that's the video. What do y'all think about this vid? Are the Magic sneaky contenders? Let me know, and be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more NBA content, turn on post notifications, and that is all. Stay litty. This is the A-Man Show. Sign out.